Hello and welcome to episode 89 of When the Flames Go Up, the ATFC podcast. We are back following three games, a win, a draw, and a loss for the Shots, crawling towards safety in 19th position. This evening we have CJ and Ian on the call to discuss that and also the upcoming home games against Gateshead and Southend. We also have time to talk about the new kits. And I'm sure we'll have more time to talk about the kits because there's so much to cover, actually. Didn't realise until too late in the episode. Anyway, enjoy the episode and, of course, up the Shots. So the Shots, since we last recorded, we're on a six-game slide, six defeats in a row after Boreham Wood. They went into the Tour of Duty game away at Morecambe, feeling a little bit worried about the prospect of a Morecambe win. Morecambe didn't go ahead and win the day after we recorded. If they had done and then beaten us, it would have been within a game of getting out of the relegation zone. But it's transpired that Aldershot did get the win. They've won, they've drawn, and they've lost since we last recorded. Over the Easter weekend, a draw at home to Sutton 2-2, and then most recently a 3-0 away defeat at Gary Waddock's Wealdstone. A lot's changed. I feel like it was freezing cold the last time we recorded, and now I've got a fan in my room, and it feels like the end of the season. Ian's got a cricket cap on, so you know it's coming to the end of the season. The cricket season is overlapping with National League stuff. Ian, I'll come to you first. Your thoughts on the last three games that we've seen?
Well, yeah, thank goodness that we got that result at Morecambe. I think with what's come since then, it's yeah, magic moment, and I really, really wish I'd been in the away end for the celebrations and the scenes. There's nothing better than after you've lost six in a row, you're 0-0 at 88 minutes, and then you end up winning 2-0 to, at that point, I guess, put I don't know if it put relegation fears completely out of mind because of the subsequent results, but on that day, yeah, that must have been one almighty bounce. So, yeah, very, very pleased watching that Morecambe result from afar. Sutton was quite frustrating. Um, Started brightly, which I've been keen for Aldershot to do, and I feel like we play our best stuff when we do that. So to not get all 3 points from leading 2-0 so early on is very disappointing. And then Wealdstone on Monday was uh, again very frustrating. I watched the Wealdstone highlights just before, and I don't know if their highlights are normally so short, but it was basically Shots had two chances in the opening minute, and then the rest of the 3 minutes highlights is the Wealdstone goals and I think one headed chance that Kwame put wide. And I was sat right behind that one with Guy, and that was a half chance at best. You know, there was just very little positives from Monday afternoon apart from that opening minute. I felt like when it was still only 1-0 that we might suddenly produce something out of nothing and snatch ourselves possibly an undeserved point. But in the end, we lose 3-0. Other results have still continued to be kind, so at least that's going for us. And I think we're just all looking forward to getting that safety mathematically confirmed. And we're already, I think, looking ahead to next season, especially on WhatsApp, of what we would do differently and who we'd like to see come into the club, who we'd like to see leave, perhaps.
Yes, this is the time of the season, especially you feel like, well, you come away from a bad performance like Monday, and I think none of these players want a contract next season. But if I'd asked them 2 weeks ago at Morecambe, I mean, they were all absolutely, fighting for that 3 points that we desperately needed. And it was an unbelievable moment, that first goal, because it felt like a game that was petering out. It was a bit devoid of quality. I mean, I think Morecambe probably by their own admission have probably got two very good players that shouldn't be playing National League football, and the rest are bang average. it's probably too little, too late for them to build a squad and stay up. But yeah, to get that moment with Brody Pert, just it very much sums up Brody Pert's introduction at Aldershot, really, which is get the ball and put that ball in the box, or get in the box, or take a man on. He didn't even think twice. He just put a ball where he thought a player was going to be. I don't think he even looks really. He looks as he hits it, but I don't think he's looking fully. And Kwame Thomas, I don't think I've ever seen him score a goal where he's on balance. He's always slightly off balance, or off his feet, or sliding towards the ball, or stooping header. And yeah, so grateful he got that, got his toe on that to send that away end. Barmy. So yeah, 451 shots fans up there. It was actually remarkable. Everywhere in town had old shot fans in. And I think also there's maybe a worry when loads of old shot fans are like kind of, I'm going to use the word stomping, but, drunkenly wandering around a city or a town, and you think, oh God, it's, the locals are probably going to be annoyed at this or start getting pissed off. Everyone was lovely. Like, honestly, some of the most lovely hospitality from people up in Morecambe. Everyone was nice. Everyone was very welcoming. Every single pub we walked into had karaoke going. So, I mean, countless renditions of Alive and Kicking. Um, oh, it was brilliant. And I've come down south and nobody's doing any karaoke. Fuming. I'm just walking in like, oh, this is dire in here. It's just I'm just going to gastro pubs in London and just go, this is nothing on the spit and sawdust of and £4 pints of Morecambe. So honestly, yeah, bring it back. I'll bring them back as soon as possible. When relegation is confirmed. Um, yeah, I guess yeah. After that win, we've obviously had the Sutton game, which the post match from John Coleman is probably the most explosive I've seen of him so far. The most annoyed. He's absolutely fuming that we've kind of let a 2 goal lead slip. I mean, having watched the highlights back, it was a pretty even game. I think there was chances on either side. I think Lewis Simple was brilliant, and probably I think he was man of the match last time we played them. It was a draw last season. He was brilliant again. He gets the 2 goals. Um, but yeah, Charlie Warren, the Charlie Warren chance just has to go in. Having watched it again, it is 3 yards out, and he has basically got 75% of the goal to hit. So yeah, what could have been. And yeah, less said about Wealdstone, other than the weather. It was the first shorts game for me. So pleased to get the shorts out for that one. CJ, I'll come to you. Your thoughts on those last 3 games?
Yeah, I was sort of like under an arm about it the other day. I was looking at it and going, you look at the Sean Patton situation and go, that was sort of the catalyst to our form, really. Because Sean Patton went, Ollie Scott sort of went out the team. Theo's in and out the team now. Um, Charlie Warren's form's gone. And Hadi Gandol got injured. So you almost look at it and go, it's almost spiraled from just Sean Patton. Obviously, it's not his fault. He's like a 19-year-old, 20-year-old lad, but it almost spiraled from that situation where we were on such a high at such a peak where we had a striker scoring goals. The three of them were linking up at the top. Barrett was in and around it, and then all of a sudden, after like one recall, the whole squad's just sort of capitulated a little bit, and the atmosphere's gone, the energy's gone in the whole team. And you look at the Wealdstone game, and I think their commentator said it best, really. He was so shocked that it just felt like a pre-season friendly. And even he was surprised because he was like, Aldershot aren't like mathematically safe yet. He goes like that, and they're already in like cruise control. And watching it, I was like, this is horrific. Like we were struggling to link up. Like we didn't really do anything. We'd make one pass forward and make 2 passes backwards. Like we just didn't really go anywhere with the ball. Like there was no real direction. You had like Callum Stewart, bless him, just sort of running around the pitch, not really knowing where to be or what to do. Um, Charlie Warren lost out in the wing. It just like obviously I think the only real positive was that Theo was on the bench, Barrett was on the bench, Gandor was back. So you could sort of go, well, oh, and Tetek was on the bench as well, I think. And then you go, and then obviously you listen to Coleman's interview afterwards. He goes, well, my 2 best passes of the ball were on the bench. And I'm like, well, you sort of know what your answer is really, but and it's I get it like the pitch issue and stuff, but it's not it's little things like that. Both teams are playing on it, so you can't use that as an excuse. Like they knocked it around more than we did. They looked more of a threat. They had big forwards who held the ball up and linked up with their players around them. Like it just makes a big difference. Like you look at our front line, and it was just small and like just outworked and outbullied a little bit. And you look at their forwards, and they just sort of chucked us around a little bit. I think that was the first time I sort of seen Will Nightingale almost look out of place, and that's probably harsh because he's probably been player of the season since he's been in the squad. He's been Mr. Consistent every week. He's been excellent, and hopefully we can get him back next year. But like they just look so much better than us, and all. And it obviously made it worse as well because it's Gary Waddock and the love and affection that we all have for him and all most of the fan base does anyway. And the fact that it was almost like he's gone in there and he saved the day, and they're probably likely going to be pushing for playoffs next season just because of what he does in this league and how like highly regarded he is and the way he plays. And you look at the games they've gone in, like he's gone in. I think they've only lost a couple, and like they've pretty much just smashed everyone in the meantime. So you look at it, and then obviously the Sutton game, and it's like we're 2-0 up, comfortable at home, and then all of a sudden, like we're probably losing or drawing, but it feels like a loss to arguably the worst side we've probably come up against this year twice. And I don't even think we beat them last time, and we battered them then. So it's frustrating that we can't see it out when we're the better side all the time. And I think that's the most frustrating thing. And like you said, Will, like Coleman's interview afterwards, that was probably the most emotion, most passion we sort of seen from him since he's come into the club. Um, and yeah, it's just frustrating, really. Like you're sitting there and watching it, and you're going, well, someone do something. Like we've moved Ryan Hill into midfield now, which is great, but the poor bloke's been pulled pillar to post this season just to sort of put square pegs in round holes. And yeah, arguably one of our better players as well. And he's probably in for a shout for player of the season because he's been one of the most reliable players we've had. But again, like, is he a centre midfielder in a double pivot? Probably not. But we're chucking him in there for what reason? Because he can run around a bit. Like what I really don't understand like the thinking in terms of personnel sometimes. It's like it's almost I've signed these players, I just need to put them in the squad. Like Inwood's probably not been the player for a couple of weeks that we started to see. Christy Grogan's probably the model we wanted in terms of a big centre back, and he came in like a bat out of hell, and he looked like the perfect partner to Will Nightingale. But again, he sort of dipped. Shackelford looks lost after his injury, so all of a sudden you're like, okay, like well, like the back line looks ropey again, and it's your back line almost in terms of John Coleman because Will Nightingale never really featured under Tommy, so it's almost a fresh signing for Coleman. And then you look at the midfield and you go, it lacks a bit of everything. Lacks a bit of flair, lacks a bit of quality, lacks control of the ball. And then for him to come out and say in the interview afterwards that his best two passes on the bench and it's probably his fault and stuff like that, I'm like, well, it was crying out for someone to just put their foot on the ball in the Wealdstone game at least. Like the Sutton game, like you said, Charlie Warren should score. Um, the two red cards are carnage when like you're doing so well, like you're trying to get into the game and stuff like that, and like you go 2-0 up, and you should never throw that away, especially at home and especially yeah, like the wreck, like when you got the East Bank singing and the atmosphere must have been like bouncing at the time, like and you just chuck it away. Like I don't know, it's just frustrating. We got 4 games left. Ideally, one win and a draw, and we're probably safe. I'd like to think probably even one win. And looking at the league table, we just need to get it done now. And hopefully, like Gates said, we can just get them out of the way and put them back underneath us, and we're sort of mathematically on par then to sort of say, right, let's plan for next season.
Yes, yes. Yeah, thoughts turn to next season. I suppose, yeah, the other player that you didn't mention in there with the pattern is Jed Mearholes, who was in the away end at Wealdstone. He is that guy that could, well, not only win the balls and win the headers and put his foot on the ball, but he does seem to be the perfect mould for, well, alongside Hargreaves, who's brilliant, and I presume in an ideal world in the squad that he's currently got and can't really do much with now. I don't know. Yeah, it's probably the Mearholes Hargreaves combination, and it is probably Ryan Hill at right back at the moment, as you mentioned. Yeah, Shackelford hasn't looked. It's mainly just comfortable at the back. I thought that was his main the main benefit when he joined us was he looked like a solid fullback. And I'm comfortable every time he goes forward because I know he's a decent footballer. He can bomb on the same as Ollie Scott. I think he can bomb on as well. But yeah, when you've not got the defensive side of things, it does feel a little more unbalanced. Um, and yeah, the Charlie Warren kind of goals somehow are evading him. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how he knows how he hasn't scored or been on the end of something or created something himself. Yeah, his last goal came away at Forest Green, so yeah, he's waited over a month for a goal so far.
I'm
Hopefully, he
just
can get
thinking
another.
this Ollie Scott sending off, obviously it was two yellows. And again, watching the highlights before, the first yellow was in a part of the pitch where I don't feel he needed to do that. And then the second yellow for the penalty, I'm not sure. I'd want to see like another angle because my where I sit in the south stand is not that dissimilar to what you see on the highlights, but it kind of looked like he'd done enough before he made the challenge and the foul that the attacker had gone past and that he would have been okay just letting it shielding the ball out. So if, you know, he either doesn't do that or he still fouls them, it's a penalty. It goes down to 2-2, but it would then be only a first yellow card. And we've still at least got 11 on the pitch. And then that might be good enough to try and, snatch the points at the end. And of course, Sutton went down to 10 men themselves, and that seemed, unnecessary and wasteful. And I think I agree with what CJ said that, yeah, Sutton were not a good side. I thought Boxing Day when we played at Gander Green Lane was 2 points missed. And I think we've only ended up with 2 points against Sutton when we could have really, it's not an exaggeration to say that we could have had six. And that would now be good enough for, yeah, start making firm plans for next season.
Yeah, yeah. I would love to say I had a better view than you from the East Bank, but because it was a 3,000 crowd, I was behind a pillar, and all I saw was Ollie Scott putting his arm out the pillar, and then the striker on the floor, and I was like, well, from where I'm standing, that looks a bit penalty. But yeah, I agree. He's. I think he had him. Yeah, he'd already gone past. Boyce Clark was going to collect that ball anyway. I mean, I think he would have had to just slide to get the ball rather than, I mean, he just picked it up, like bent down and picked it up like he would pick up a sock. Like he did, it's not like he was, oh God, this guy's going to score. It was just kind of routine defending. Um, and yeah, we've had a few of those mistakes. Obviously, the first goal is Boyce Clark. I don't know who he's trying to pass it to, but it just goes straight to their player. And within 4 or 5 moves, it's fallen to Lewis Simper and he's able to finish. We shouldn't be one giving the ball away there, and two letting them. I mean, you shouldn't just collect the ball in the middle and equal getting a shot on target. There was about a collection of three more errors on top of that, and I think just having the one error. I mean, we see keepers fluff their lines all the time. It's not normally a problem because you normally you make the recovery tackle and then move on, but we somehow conspired to concede from that position. I was going to pick up on one of the things you said, CJ, where John Coleman was talking about having best passer in the team on the bench. And I remember the meltdown when Tommy said that Theo Widrington's the best passer in the league. But I'm telling you, here we go. The conspiracy theory starting here. Maybe Theo is, and we just don't know it.
Well, I think the interesting thing, having like spoken to Tommy and stuff, is that like Theo is really highly regarded within the group. like from John Coleman to the playing squad. Like it wasn't the fact that it was his son and he's in there because it's his son. And I think we've had this conversation already a few times about it. It was that Theo is actually a solid National League player. Like he can his only issue is probably his athleticism at times, is that he doesn't run around the pitch like Cameron Hargreaves. But I think that's why he's almost like the perfect person to sit behind a Hargreaves and Mearholes, and he's the one that strings the play together and from back to front. And because he has that range of passing, I think the Sutton game is probably the perfect example on Boxing Day when he was literally zinging diags left and right and causing them all types of problems. And even like Mark White, when he came onto the commentary, he even like sung praises to Theo Widrington. It was just a bias that the obviously supporters had because Tommy was upsetting people at the time. That was all I think it was, and everyone was quite divisive because how dare you have your son in the team?
Yes, no, it definitely was a bit of that throughout. I just think it's interesting now we're going to have that character arc is either going to, well, it could end at the end of the season potentially, but I for one hope it rumbles on. I love it. I love a slight lingering drama that we get with Theo. But I love his. I mean, I had a friend that came to the Woking game. Shout out Anthony. He hadn't seen. I'm not sure if he saw Theo before. Maybe he'd been to another game 2 years ago. But he was like, why didn't he take a touch on the ball? Every time he receives it, he was just clipping it the first time. And in fairness, a few of the times he was finding his target, but it was just never taking a touch in that Woking game, um, which is quite interesting. But when he's if he's confident and he can do it, then I'm all in favour. Um, right, we better get on to talking about the upcoming games. We've got two more home games. It's 3 out of 4 of the last games are at home. So the next two this Saturday is Gateshead at home, second in the form table behind York over the last 10 games. They're now magically above the shots in the league, which is really annoying. We'll come up to discuss them. And we've also got Southend at home on the following Tuesday, a rearranged game. They should be near enough confirming that playoff spot by then, but maybe we'll have a hand in that, which would be funny, of course, for the narrative that we just stop them getting promoted all the time. Gus Scott Morris is constantly scoring again. I think some sort of stat that he scored. Is it 30 over the last 2 seasons from right back? I mean, I never see him at the right back position. He's constantly like on the edge of the box, but we'll call him a right back. Ian, I'll come to you first. Your thoughts on these upcoming home games?
Yeah, I mean, Gateshead, who are on a credible run, emulating what we did between start of December and the middle of Feb. They looked searched for relegation and have got themselves out of trouble. And yeah, if they're looking to play for contracts and continue their good form with the confidence, then yeah, we're in for a tough afternoon. A few weeks ago, I thought this could be the sort of a good time or good team to play at home just to get that extra point that we need. Whereas now I'm not so sure, especially on the last couple of games we played. But fingers crossed, being at home, we can find the right combination, the right form to do something. And Southend a bit, also concerned. They'll probably need the points for the playoffs. We don't have, in recent seasons, particularly good record against Southend. Obviously, we go back a long way to when we were stopping them getting promoted, but I think since then they've had the better of the fixtures between us two. So, yeah, I'll just be happy with one win and a defeat, or maybe even 2 draws is enough as long as we have the better of the games, I think.
Yeah, I think the important thing for Coleman it seems to be make sure we do it on our own terms and don't let it be Brackley losing on Saturday. Let it be us winning, and regardless of what goes on at Brackley. Because even actually on Monday, I mean, I probably gave two people in in the stand at Wealdstone of fright because flash scores popped up saying Brackley had scored to make it 2-1. And as the third goal went in at Aldershot, so me and my mate started walking out, and I was like, "Oh, Brackley has scored as well." And lo and behold, it was ruled out for a foul. But for 5 minutes, I thought, "Oh my God, that Brackley game's just become absolutely huge." Because knowing that we had Southend at home as well to come, Gateshead I'd kind of ignored in my head, and now it's become, you're playing one of the best teams in the league randomly. Before I come to you, CJ, I was just going to mention on ShotsWeb the other week, Ian Rust he's put in some unbelievable stat about our general home form in the last 14 seasons. So that's from 2012, obviously the year that we got um, relegated from the Football League. But we've had more than 10 defeats at home on 8 occasions out of those last 14 seasons, which is 57% of our seasons. So yeah, we've got 3 more home games this season. We've currently had 11 defeats at home, which is absolutely dire. Um, and then the mad bit. So that's 57% of the last 14 seasons. In the previous 72 seasons, from 1932 to 2012, we were defeated 10 times or more at home on just 4 occasions, and that's 5%. So we've kind of, I don't know if that's a tenfold increase in rubbish home form seasons, but yeah, crazy. So shout out to Ian Russ on Shotweb for that. I was gobsmacked. CJ, your thoughts after that as well. The next 2 home games.
That is the wildest thing anyone's ever researched. Imagine going through like the Isthmian leagues and stuff like that to try and find the home results of Aldershot Town. Dude, that's impressive. I actually really like that. That's really good. Yeah, we just can't lose to Gateshead. That's the problem. We just have like John Coleman said, like you two have been saying, is that we have to do it on our own terms because I think do that and then it will be cruise control to the end of the season. It'll be free play. It'll be free preseason games. It'll probably see a little bit of rotation. I think it's interesting. Every time I look at the lineups now, all I keep seeing is Tyler Frost's name being mentioned, and I'm like, and it's interesting because he has been probably a loyal servant for the squad for the last however many years he's been at the club now, and I thought he'd be a bit more dependable for a Coleman than what he has been. Like since he can play like a couple of roles and stuff. Um, but yeah, I think if you look at the remaining games, you'd like to think the last two we should be probably winning and sail off into the end of the season with a little bit of hope and excitement for next year. We know there's going to be another spanner in the works. We know that like John Coleman might leave. We know Dean Wood might sell the club. Like we just know in the old Aldershot fashion, it's not going to be as simple as we're going to go to pre-season, be excited about next year, and nothing's going to happen. Something mad's going to happen. We can just feel it in the air. It is definitely coming. Um, but I'm all for it because what would Aldershot be without a little bit of drama, eh? Um, what a world we live in. That, but yeah, like
At least
look,
the kit will
we
be
got three
nice next season.
unbelievable kits, by the way. Can we talk
Here
about
we
that
go.
instead? That white
Yeah,
shirt
yeah.
is
Move on.
phenomenal. I'm having issues at the minute trying to get it to New Zealand, so I've been in touch with the club. They're going to try and help me out, but like that is unbelievable stuff. And then the new home shirt as well. I'm looking forward to that. It can't be bad now because the green and the white one is seriously decent. So this new home shirt has to be unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm excited for that home shirt. That's gonna be big. I mean, I don't think I've ever bought a home and an away in the same season. And I mean, I'm on the brink of getting all 3, which against modern football and all that. But bring it on. Get
I was
slap me,
literally about to
slap
say the same
bridges
thing.
all over me.
I was about to say the same thing. I'm going to be a walking advertisement board for Bridges estate agents in New
Oh, I've
Zealand.
always loved Natter. Bring on Natter, mate. Ian, your thoughts on the champagne kit?
Yeah, I love them. Yeah, I was one of the people that signed up for the green kit when it was released. hopefully I'll collect them at the Truro game at the end of the season. And then, I'm toying with the idea of getting the champagne one, but I might sort of hold on a little bit longer. I'm doing one of those, just trying not to buy stuff just generally at the minute. So having the sort of question of, do I need it?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
And
I do
which
need it.
occasion am I going to?
You're nodding your head, Will, to say yes, you do need it. And
Yeah,
then
I can't think of
yes,
an occasion it doesn't work in. You know.
I'm curious really as to what badge it will be on this new home shirt, because do they try and bring back the blue shots badge? Is that going to be on there?
Yeah, it's interesting because they've got the three in the bottom right hand corner of the three different badges, haven't they? So I wonder which one they're going to use. If they use all three, one for
Mm.
each kit potentially. So that would be cool. Another little Easter egg for all the people wearing getting all three.
The other thing as well is the third kit and the away kit are going to be used for 2 seasons. Where obviously, I guess the home one will just be one. So
That's a good point. Yeah. So you're basically saying get it now. You're forcing it into.
it's now or never, really, lads. Like, if you're not getting it now, like the club, Mark Butler, if you're listening, if you need an assistant commercial manager, I'm your man, right? If you're not getting this shirt now, guys, go get it. Go feed the budget. We need the budget raised next season.
Feed
Everyone
the
buy
budget.
2 shirts each. Go give
And
your
bring
mum
five
one,
mates.
right? Yeah.
That's it.
Get all three shirts. They're unbelievable. I haven't even seen the home one yet, but I'm just hoping it is.
Ah, lovely stuff. Right. Well, that's ended it on a positive note. Going into two home games in a week. Thank you, CJ, and thank you, Ian.
Cheers, mate.
Yep. Cheers.